During the Cleveland Browns bye week, as fans took a breath from another unpredictable season, one of the team's most beloved legends, Bernie Kosar, stepped back into the spotlight, and he didn't hold back. The former Browns quarterback, who defined grit and leadership for an entire generation of Cleveland fans, turned heads when he delivered glowing praise for none other than Shedeur Sanders. In a week that was supposed to be about rest and reflection, Kosar's words reignited a conversation that's been simmering all season long. The Browns might have finally found their next franchise quarterback. And coming from Bernie Kosar, that's not just flattery, that's prophecy. Kosar's comments came during a local radio appearance that quickly went viral across social media. When asked about the state of the Browns' offense and the young quarterback at its center, Kosar leaned in with the calm conviction of a man who's seen everything this game can offer. "Shedeur's not just talented," he said. "He's got that rare quality, the same thing all great quarterbacks have: composure, vision, and the ability to make everyone around him better. That kid is special." It wasn't just what he said. It was how he said it. There was admiration, yes, but there was also belief. For a city that's been desperate for a true leader under center, hearing those words from one of their own felt almost revolutionary. Bernie Kosar knows what it means to carry the weight of Cleveland on your shoulders. In the 1980s, he was the city's heart and soul, the blue-collar quarterback who symbolized resilience, toughness, and hope. He understood the expectations, the scrutiny, and the pain of coming up short in a town that bleeds football. So when Kosar speaks about quarterbacks, fans listen. His praise for Shedeur Sanders wasn't casual commentary, it was a passing of the torch. A symbolic nod that Cleveland might finally have the right man to lead them out of decades of disappointment. For weeks, analysts have been debating Shedeur's readiness, his poise, and his fit within the Browns system. Many argued he was too young, too inexperienced, or too flashy for the grind of the NFL. But Kosar dismissed those doubts with ease. "You can see it in the way he commands the huddle," he said. "He's got that maturity that you can't coach. The kid's been raised around greatness. You can see his father's influence, sure, but he's his own man now." That line, "he's his own man," quickly became the quote of the week. Because that's been the central question around Shedeur since the day he entered the league. Could he step out of Deion Sanders' shadow and prove he's not just coach, Prime's son, but a legitimate NFL leader? Kosar seems to believe that question has already been answered. Watching film from Shedeur's first few starts, he highlighted how calm the young quarterback remained under pressure, how quickly he read defenses, and how effortlessly he adjusted at the line of scrimmage. To Kosar, these weren't rookie traits. They were signs of a natural field general. There's a difference between a quarterback who plays football and one who understands football, Kosar explained. Shedeur understands it. You can see it in how he manipulates safeties, how he throws his receivers open. That's veteran stuff. For a man like Bernie, who built his career on cerebral play and perfect timing, that kind of praise carries enormous weight. As Kosar's words spread, the reaction was immediate. Browns fans flooded social media with a renewed sense of excitement. For years, they've watched the revolving door of quarterbacks come and go, the failed experiments, the false hopes, the letdowns that defined a generation. From Johnny Manziel's immaturity to Baker Mayfield's inconsistency, Cleveland has been haunted by its inability to find stability at the most important position in sports. But in Shedeur Sanders, fans are seeing something different. A calmness, a confidence, a quarterback who doesn't need theatrics to command respect. And Kosar's endorsement only amplified that optimism. Inside the Browns organization, Kosar's comments reportedly resonated as well. Coaches and front office members took notice of how fans responded, how one legend's words could shift the narrative from skepticism to belief. The Browns' locker room has been fractured in recent years, weighed down by losses, injuries, and internal power struggles. But players, too, seem to be rallying around Shedeur. Veterans talk about his humility, his preparation, and his willingness to learn. "He's always first in, last out," one player told reporters anonymously. "He listens more than he talks, but when he does talk, you listen." It's the kind of leadership you can't manufacture, and exactly the kind Kosar embodied in his prime. Of course, this isn't just about one quarterback or one comment. It's about culture. The Browns have been searching for an identity for decades, an anchor to build around. And in many ways, Kosar's endorsement of Shedeur Sanders symbolizes a shift in that search. For too long, the Browns have been defined by dysfunction, coaching turnover, front office chaos, and quarterbacks who never lived up to the hype. But now, they might finally be on the verge of something different. A new era built not on noise, but on substance. Not on promise, but on performance. And hearing one of their all-time greats publicly acknowledge that potential feels like validation for every fan who still believes in the team's future. The timing of Kosar's praise couldn't have been more perfect. During the bye week, as the team reevaluated its offensive approach and tried to regain focus for the second half of the season, Shedeur became the story that inspired hope. Even in practice, reports described his command of the offense as improving daily. Coaches praised his film study habits, his communication with receivers, and his growing chemistry with the offensive line. Kosar, who's known for his detailed film breakdowns, singled out one particular sequence that caught his eye. A 2-minute drill against Baltimore where Shedeur, down by 6 with less than 2 minutes on the clock, marched the offense nearly 80 yards in just 5 plays. "That's not a rookie drive," he said. "That's what leaders do." There's also a deeper connection between Kosar and Shedeur Sanders that makes this story even more powerful. Both men know what it means to carry expectations that few can understand. Kosar came into the NFL as the local hero, the kid from Youngstown tasked with saving his hometown team. Shedeur, meanwhile, carries the Sanders legacy, a name synonymous with greatness. Both were told in their own way that the pressure might be too much. And yet both found ways to turn that pressure into fuel. That shared experience might be why Kosar speaks about Shedeur not just as a player, but as a kindred spirit. He's got the weight of 2 worlds on him, his father's legacy and this city's expectations, Kosar said. But he's handling it better than most veterans would. As the Browns return from their bye week, the spotlight burns brighter than ever. Shedeur Sanders now faces the daunting task of proving Bernie Kosar right, of translating potential into wins, belief into results. But if the past few months are any indication, he's ready for it. He's embraced the pressure, silenced the noise, and earned the respect of his teammates and the city that's learning to believe again. The story of Shedeur Sanders and the Cleveland Browns is still being written. But one thing is clear. With Bernie Kosar's blessing, it feels less like a gamble and more like destiny. In a city built on perseverance and heart, Bernie Kosar's voice still carries the authority of truth. And when he says a young quarterback is the real deal, people take notice. For Cleveland, that means hope, something this team hasn't had in a long, long time. As Kosar put it best, if Shedeur keeps playing the way he's been playing, this city won't just embrace him. It'll love him the way it loved me. And for Browns fans, that's the kind of statement that turns belief into faith, and faith into the start of something special.